The battle of Ryokugyu ends in tears, we learn the truth of Wano's history, and our characters draw closer to an ancient superweapon. A staggering number of events happened in this chapter, so no more wasting time. Let's get into it. We open up with a brief reminder of the ongoing celebrations. Nami, Toko, and Zeus are having a ton of fun, living it up in the capital. After that, we cut to the defenders of Wano, who are having a far less fun day. Momonosuke reiterates that Yamato mustn't join this fight. Yamato naturally asks why. An excellent question given the sheer power being pitted against them. But Momo just reiterates that Yamato mustn't even touch the Admiral. Before the young dragon can explain further, however, Admiral Aramaki slams him down to the ground hard. Clearly not in the mood for mid-fight banter unless he is the one delivering it. Raizo immediately tries to get Momonosuke out of the Admiral's hold with his ninpo, going for a gout of flame with fire release. Ryokugyu reels and cries out, acting as if it was a successful attack. But one panel later, the twisted Admiral is laughing. He mocks the foolishness of the capital's defenders, reminding them of his rank. That a naval admiral being able to guard against such an obvious weakness should have been a given. He lashes out with the root, the tendril curling before impaling poor Raizo. Such are the perils of being a ninja, fighting without stealth. And this root would be quick to take all the moisture out of Raizo's body. The remaining red scabbards don't hold back against the Admiral, but they are unable to make progress against Ryokugyu's plant-based assault. The Admiral starts to wrap them up in his vines, restricting them one by one. It's an oddly non-lethal moment for the man who recently proudly boasted of his right to kill citizens of Wano freely. Then again, he'd offer them the chance to stand down before the fight started. For all of Ryokugyu's violent tough guy persona, he does seem to draw a distinction between pirates and regular people who just happen to be in his way. But before we go any further, this video is sponsored by Sakurako and Tokyo Treat, the best Japanese snack subscriptions available. With a subscription to Tokyo Treat, you'll get access to up to 20 of the latest and greatest limited edition seasonal Japanese snacks available. Meanwhile, with Sakurako, you can enjoy 20 traditional and authentic artisan Japanese snacks, including tea and one special Japanese tableware item each month. Sakurako partners with local Japanese snack makers to continue sharing Japanese culture and traditions that have been passed down for centuries. The theme of this month's Tokyo Treat box is Sugoi Summer, which is packed with all the delicious summer flavors and chill vibes Japan has to offer. This month's box is probably my favorite yet. It was honestly pretty hard to pick a favorite from the Saku Saku Panda cookies to potato truffle and rock salt chips. Really and truly, there is something tasty in here for everyone. The theme for this month's Sakurako box is Okinawa Retreat. To put this one together, they have partnered up with Ogimi Villages, which boast the highest life expectancies in the world. The snow salt milk shinsuko were a surprisingly familiar taste that we couldn't get enough of. And oh man, the crunch from the brown sugar karinto was perfect. You can use our code PLOTARMOR to save $5 off your first Sakurako or Tokyo Treat box. And be sure to order soon, not only to support the channel, but to be sure that you get the same box as us. Thanks again to Sakurako and Tokyo Treat for the delicious snacks, but now, back to the topic at hand. While the battle outside the flower capital continues, Robin and Sukiyaki are exploring an area beneath the former shogun's secret room. Between chapters, they've been joined by Law, who realized they were missing from the celebrations. Sukiyaki warns the pair that the lower steps are covered in mold, hinting at just how deep this stairway is going. The former shogun starts to reminisce about the past as he continues down. He had never told Kaido or Orochi about this passage, but the two had been able to locate the poneglyph all the same. He credits this to the animal pirates having a fishman on their group, the all-star Jack the Drought, which is the first time we have seen this information provided directly by the main series itself. And man, being a fisherman with a devil fruit has just always been so silly to me. Robin asks how that would help, but Sukiyaki replies that it will be clear soon enough. Law asks how deep these passages go, which makes the former shogun pause. His answer is that they run a few hundred years deep. Robin starts to catch on to why this is. As they descend further, the Straw Hat archaeologist notices a dim light. Sukiyaki claims that it is a glass pane at the end of the crawl space and encourages Robin to go see for herself, noting that they are already below sea level. Robin takes him up on the offer, pulling herself slowly up the steep stone slope, only for Law to beat her to the far side by using his devil fruit. There's a cute moment of Robin being a bit jealous of Law's devil fruit abilities, allowing him to just pop in alongside her effortlessly, but the two are soon distracted by a magnificent view. On the other side of the glass pane lies an entire sunken city, built with the same architecture we had seen from present-day Wano. Sukiyaki explains that this is an older Wano, dated to about 800 years ago. So for you Void Century fans, it is likely at the tail end of the time period, at the same time the poneglyphs were developed. At that time, Wano was a much larger island, but since then, walls have been erected around it. This trapped the rainwater within, eventually flooding the ancient Wano and forcing the inhabitants to resettle in areas close to the peak of Mount Fuji. In time, some artificial land was seemingly added, and that became the Wano we know today. Seemingly done with his ancient history lesson for the moment, Sukiyaki opens the door to reveal Wano's road poneglyph. Robin is naturally a little awed at having finally retrieved the third part of the combination needed to reach Laugh Tale, but Sukiyaki somehow still has more dramatic revelations for her and Law. He explains that they are at the base of Mount Fuji, but if they trek a little deeper, they will reach the ancient weapon Pluton. However, Sukiyaki is unable to show it to them. The former shogun claims that retrieving Pluton would require them to remove the walls surrounding Wano. This is what is meant by opening the country. It would remove Wano's formidable natural defenses, rendering them far more vulnerable to invasion. What's worse, this would itself unleash Pluton upon the world. Sukiyaki's language here seems to suggest that Pluton is a threat they cannot control. While the ancient weapon Poseidon turned out to be a person, Shirahoshi, Pluton was supposedly a battleship built on Water 7 long ago. Is Sukiyaki simply being a little flowery here, or does Pluton have something like an onboard AI, giving it the ability to operate without a crew? Given the level of technology we have seen from Frankie, it seems at least possible. Robin asks why Kozuki Oden, a kind-hearted hero of Wano, would want to unleash an ancient weapon of mass destruction upon the world. Sukiyaki has no answer, but he raises a point. All he has shared comes from Shogunate history, with details the people of Wano had managed to preserve. He doesn't know what Oden discovered during his voyages with the Roger Pirates. This squares with what we know. Laugh Tale contains information on the ancient history of the world. It makes sense that Oden would know more about Pluton's nature than Sukiyaki does. This suggests that Oden either deemed it not a threat, or that it was needed for some reason. Perhaps Joy Boy left some instructions around to make it ready for his return. Could Pluton have been Joy Boy's ship? Leaving Robin and Law to ponder this cavalcade of ancient history, we return to the battle on the outskirts of the Flower Capital. And it's not going so well for our heroes. Ryukyu, content with his position of literally towering over the battlefield, starts to taunt his foes. He boasts of the power of the forces of nature, but admits that if Kaido had still ruled Wano, he wouldn't have come. Oddly, the Admiral seems to quite admire Kaido, even though the man was a pirate. Perhaps being a respect for survival of the fittest. After all, Kaido was revered as the world's strongest creature. Aramaki admits that the Beast Pirate's reign must have been miserable for the people of Wano. Claims that the order Kaido provided was all that stopped the other predators from targeting their country. An idea that ignores the predators within Wano that targeted its people. From Orochi to the Beast Pirates, all the way up to Kaido himself. Ryukyu might be an admiral, but his thinking hasn't much evolved from the most basic tenets of the Marines. Order is good, chaos is bad. Once again though, the Woodwood man seemingly tries to be merciful. The Admiral starts thrashing about, flinging these still grappled defenders against the ground repeatedly with his root tendrils. He's going for knockouts and incapacitation despite having the group helpless and having shown that his tendrils can be used to impale his foes. He calls on the Scabbards to just bring out Straw Hat Luffy, claiming that he'll let them be after he takes his head. Yamato's all for bringing Luffy over to join the fight and show Ryukyu who's boss, but Momonosuke interjects. The little dragon doesn't want Luffy, the Straw Hats, or Yamato to intervene here, and finally manages to explain why. The Straw Hats are soon to leave Wano. Yamato plans to go with them. With that in mind, Momonosuke and the Red Scabbards have to prove that they are able to defend Wano without their assistance. Otherwise, how can they claim Wano will be safe with their strongest allies gone? Which is precisely what we surmised with the previous chapter. Momonosuke doesn't mention the borders, but that point has to be weighing on his mind too. With what we know now, opening the borders would allow almost anyone to land on Wano. Needing intervention from an ally to win their first fight against an invader would prove Ryukyu right. Kaido, or someone like him, was needed to protect Wano from the wider world. The borders should remain closed. They are no longer safe. Yamato is touched by this. Momo roars at the Admiral, yelling for the Demon Tree to leave. Ryukyu is not impressed by this revelation or the speech, calling Momonosuke a pathetic kid and giving him a contemptuous sneer. Momonosuke does not relent, crying out that he told the man to leave. And it is with this that Ryukyu realizes his mistake. Roaring at the top of his lungs, Momonosuke unleashes an almighty blast of fire breath at the overconfident Admiral. Denjiro cries out in wonder at the blast, proud of his lord for mastering Kaido's signature ability. Ryukyu tries to call an end to the fight, but Momonosuke does not relent, firing blast after blast of flame at Ryukyu while yelling at him to be gone. The Admiral, who was boasting of his resistance to fire not so long ago, is reduced to desperately trying to extinguish his burning body, which is a testament to how powerful these blasts truly are. Yamato also takes a second to appreciate Momonosuke's growing control of his dragon form, though Kawamatsu points out that his aim isn't perfect yet. And I mean, cut him some slack, he's only just gotten started. Still, Ryukyu's giant woodman form presents a nice easy target. Momonosuke keeps the flames up, finally reducing the Admiral to cinders with one all-consuming blast. However, soon after, a flower bud on the ground would complain about this being a pain. Momonosuke's victory lasted just a handful of seconds. Before the group could react, the bud had grown into a renewed Ryukyu, who was finally lost what little self-control he ever had. Furious, he pulls himself back up to giant size, promising to skewer wannabe Kaido Momonosuke from head to tail for daring to, well, defend himself against a man who was here trying to kill his close friend and ally. But before the fight could continue, a wave of Conqueror's Haki crackles across the battlefield. It's enough to even give the barely stable Ryukyu pause. The Admiral wonders who could have unleashed such power before identifying the culprit. He calls out in surprise. The red hair pirates? They're here too? This wave of Haki has set the seas around Wano churning. One of Shanks' men cries out to him, warning him against going all out with his Haki unexpectedly. Shanks doesn't comment to his crewmen, his focus is on Ryukyu. Speaking directly to the Admiral, Shanks claims that he can't call the Marines cowardly or underhanded for attacking now. Nevertheless, he points out exactly what they are doing. Ryukyu's plan was to take out the Straw Hats and their allies right after an exhausting battle, one that will go down in history. Then, remembering his past interactions with the younger generation, Shanks asks the Admiral a simple, direct question. Does the new age scare you that much? And good lord, was this a badass moment for Shanks. Absolute goat behavior from this man. And listen, this was enough to get Ryukyu to throw up his hands and withdraw, claiming that he didn't want any smoke, he didn't want to pick a fight with Shanks' crew. Or at least he didn't want to do so today. And man, the sheer fact that the Conqueror's Haki of Shanks could be felt from the seas around Wano all the way into the country, and be enough to not only shake an Admiral, but damn near have him watering his own plants from his pants, is crazy. This man completely dropped out of his tree-based form just like that. But let's not downplay the fact that Shanks is communicating through his Haki. I mean, it's like he forced the man into a Den Mushi call. Yamato punches the air, triumphant at the victory, having completely forgotten Momonosuke's earlier words about what he wanted to prove with this fight. Momonosuke, meanwhile, is trying desperately not to cry. Unfortunately, he is failing. It's hard not to feel for him here. The new Shogun pushed himself to the limit, showing off full control of the dragon form. He even replicated Kaido's signature attack, and none of it was enough to win the fight. At the end of the day, he did need an outsider to help defend Wano. So we'll just have to wait and see how he feels about all this. Maybe it just went over his head and didn't realize. Speaking of which, most of the Straw Hats and their friends are still up in the capital, partying as hard as ever. Sanji, Luffy, Zoro, and Jinbei, however, have headed over to the outskirts. It appears they have been watching the battle just in case he needed to step in. And they're pretty content that they didn't need to. All three are grinning, and Zoro in particular seems downright impressed with Momo. They bring up the wave of Haki that crashed across the island earlier, but not sure of who it belonged to. Luffy, however, grins, claiming a familiar face just popped into his head as we see Shanks' ship still out at sea. What I'd imagine was certainly a familiar sensation to when Shanks bet on him with the sacrifice of his arm. And boy is Oda a funny man, placing Shanks here just in time for the promotion of One Piece Film Red. Regardless, this chapter provided us with lots of new information and plenty more unanswered questions. But hey, feel free to leave us your thoughts on this epic chapter in the comments down below. As always, I'm Slice of Otaku. Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.